Hello and welcome to PM Personality Profile. My name is Nana Ansakwa the Fourth, the Chief of the only Republic within the Republic, Akwamu Edumasa. Breaking all the rules according to our constitution, but hey, I still live. Now, every Friday, repeated on Sunday, I come to you with a guest to share a story. The motive is a path they charted that we may have to follow, or a turning they did what we need to avoid. But either way, it advises us, it enriches us, and it makes our lives better. Now, we live in the times where the youth today seems to think, look, I wake up at breakfast and I should make it by dinner. And therefore, I want to be like Mr. A or Miss B. However, we never bother ourselves to hear their stories. We never bother to find out what path they took, the challenges, their falls, their ups, and their downs. Because that's what makes who we admire. And so behind all the glamour, behind the achievement, behind the success, what was the story? And that's what we aim to achieve. And that's what we're here to do right now. And I'm talking to Honorable Barbara Asha Ayisi, Deputy Minister for Roads, for Works and Housing, and also Honorable Member of Parliament for Cape Coast North. However, she looks so young. And so we ask ourselves, what is the story? Stay tuned. When we come back, having a conversation. Well, thank you very much for staying, and say thank you to Crown Apartamento for giving us their premises to do wonderful interviews. And today we are sat at the poolside having this wonderful conversation. So once again, thank you to Crown Apartamento right here at airport. But I want to say thank you, Barbara, for granting me this interview. And it's a very selfish and inquisitive interview. Selfish and inquisitive interview. And I believe I speak for many.
Yes, please.
Because, all we see is this, not in a bad way, but this little girl, who's sort of been thrown in the deep and has been asked to swim. But I'm sure, beneath this little girl appearance, there must be a story.
Absolutely.
So I want to go all the way back. 1976?
Oh my goodness.
Yes, all the way back to 1976. You don't look it though, but hey, well done. So where were you born? Where did you grow up?
Thank you very much, Nana, and it's indeed an honor to be here. And I thank God I came for the awards. You see, that networking.
Networking.
Yes.
Yeah?
So anytime we are invited, we have to make ourselves available.
You never know who you meet.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So I wish to thank you for such an honor done me to invite me to be on your program.
Sure.
I am Barbara Asha Ayisi, as you said earlier. I was actually born in Cape Coast.
Okay.
But I spent my early ages in Accra.
Okay.
My mother is Mrs. Victoria Asha, who is an artist and a fashion designer.
Oh, okay.
And my dad is Professor Chris Asha, who was a journalist, doing the same job you're doing now. And he was an editor as well, Palava Tribune.
Okay.
And I'm sure you might have read a little bit, I know you are not that young. You also look young too. So in my early ages, we're here in Accra, but my daddy was also quite vocal, and I'm not sure what he did, but he wrote against the government then, that is ex-President Rawlings. So he had to go on exile. It happened during the 81, I think, coup. So he went on exile, and my mother, myself, my brother and myself moved to Cape Coast. Okay. So when I went to Cape Coast...
What age is this?
And then, women don't want to tell their ages, I always want to keep my fans in suspense. See? But if I say in the 80s, then I'm sure you can guess.
Okay.
So when we moved to Cape Coast, I continued at Albesam Memorial Preparatory School. Okay. And I went to Experimental Baketiu Junior High School. and then I went to Wesley Girls High School. In Wesley Girls High School, I mean, some of the mistakes that we did, I want to share so that, I mean, parents and young people could learn from my story. I went in very versatile, I bubbled with a lot of energy, quite adventurous, so I didn't really know, and it's not, I think the opportunities now, we never had those opportunities that are, available now, where you could be guidance and counseling with regards to your career, what you wanted to do. So I got to Wesley Girls and I didn't know what to do. As a young girl, I was so much excited. Everybody was doing science. Those days when you were a science student, you felt that you were really on top. So I found myself in science, doing science as a biology student. And at a point I realized that no, this is not Barbara. This is not really what I wanted to do. But I felt it was quite late. So I completed, all right, but pursuing science at the university I felt was something, would have been a very bad idea. So, and I love children as well, so I decided to go. You see, people think that people who go to the training college are not academically inclined.
Yeah.
It's not like that. You see, you can decide because you know what you want to do and where you couch your own future. So I decided to go to OLA training, where I did English education.
Okay.
And from there, I went to the University of Education, Winneba, again to do English education. And then from there, I moved right to Wesley Girls High School. I never struggled. You see, those days, you never struggle to look for a teaching appointment. It was so easy. It's not, now these days, it's a little bit difficult. But in the past, it wasn't like that. So I went to Wesley Girls, my alma mater, to teach.
So you taught before?
Oh, yes. I was an English teacher.
Wow.
And a literature teacher. And I know my student loved me so much. Yes, because, sometimes you need to be open to our students. When you're open, they're able to share a lot of, some of the challenges and difficulties that they were going through with you. So I had fun in Wesley Girls High School. Okay. But I realized that Wesley Girls is such that if you do not take care, you as a teacher may not have, that opportunity to upgrade yourself. So you will be there and your students, pass out, become lawyers, doctors, and you're still at the same place. So at a point I felt that I needed to further my education. So I took a leave of absence and went to the University of Cape Coast, pursued English literature, MPhil English literature. Okay. But whilst I was in Wesley Girls High School, I've been very proactive and very active. Right after the university, I get into politics.
Were you in student politics in school?
Oh yes, I was a women's commissioner then in school, and that, when you were a women's a commissioner, automatically you became part of national nukes. So I was part of nukes, yes. And so from there, I felt that anytime you have a dream, if you want to be a president, you want to be an MP, you want to be a minister, you need to start somewhere. I don't believe, getting up one day and saying that, no, I just want to be the president or I just want to be a minister. Because every stage of your life, you gather some experiences. So right after the university, I started from of course, because of my background, I found myself with the New Patriotic Party. And then I also loved, their ideologies and all those things. So I joined the New Patriotic Party, and I was a polling station, women's organizer. Okay. And then I became the electoral area coordinator. And then I became Cape Coast deputy constituency secretary. Okay. And then I became a government appointee to the assembly. So, all these opportunities, I was learning, because I feel that if you're able to go to, get to the assembly, that should be, a very good platform for you to learn what transpires in parliament. So after that, after some time, I just felt that I should contest as a member of parliament.
Cape Coast North.
For Cape Coast North.
It's a hot seat.
And it's really hot.
Now, you see, you, not in a bad way, but you really don't come across as, we associate politics with aggression, in your face, out there, campaign,
Yeah.
night, making sure they don't steal your ballots and everything. You look like a
Yes,
meek.
I look that. Nana, I'm a disciplinarian. I mean, when it comes to work, I'm different. I mean, it's only people who are very close to me who really know who
That side of it.
I am, the other side of me. I'm very nice, but I speak my mind. Yes, I say it the way it is.
So you decide, look, I'm going to go for MP.
Absolutely. You see, and before then, whilst I was teaching, I was also, coaching, grooming. I was part of Ghana's Most Beautiful 2012 as their chaperone.
Okay.
I was 2013. I was a chaperone as well, grooming, coaching. Telling people that you can make it, just as what Mrs. is doing. Encouraging them that it doesn't matter where you're coming from, because looking at me, in about maybe 4 years back, I mean, if I told you I would be the MP, you would never believe me. But it's a belief in yourself. Having that belief and confidence that, no, I know I will be able to. You see, it's one thing having the talent and one thing being confident. Not over, but you need to have that balance.
Yeah.
You need to believe. If you don't believe in yourself, who will believe in you? So when I said I wanted to do, go test waters, lightweight, those who have seen me on TV, because I did a lot of shows for GTP, Ghana's Most Beautiful. I participated in Miss Ghana. I was doing a whole lot, in the show business. So they never even mentioned they never even talked about Barbara being a teacher in Wesley Girls High School.
No.
You see, when you are a teacher and you do it well, you can be a good leader. That is my belief. Because when you are a teacher, you are dealing with people. In the classroom, you have people with different backgrounds. You have very, weak students, people with very high IQ, very difficult children, the quiet type. They're all in the classroom.
All the cocktail.
Exactly, and you're dealing with them. And you have to understand that everyone is unique in his or her own right. So when you know that, and with that same mentality, you get into politics, you realize that people are different. In Wesley Girls High School, my student will not insult me. But politics in Ghana, what people would not in normal situations tell you, in politics they will tell you.
Yeah.
So then that is when my experiences in teaching comes in, that people are different. People are coming from different backgrounds.
Okay.
Some are well trained, others are not, but I need to manage them. If you are not able to do that and have that understanding, if you don't take care, you'll always be fighting with everyone.
Don't go away. We are coming straight back, and I just want to find out, does it mean that the grassroots had already bought into her idea already, or was she now going to work on the grassroots? Don't go away. Well, thank you very much for staying, and we are talking to the Honorable Member of Parliament for Cape Coast North, and also Deputy Minister for Works and Housing, Honorable Barbara Asha Ayisi.
Thank you, Nana.
Yes.
I'm full of surprises,
Yes.
Life is all about balance. That was what I was taught in school. I mean, when it comes to academics, you need to be sharp. Entertainment, you are there. Sports, you need to be all-rounded. You see, you can't be boring. You need to be versatile.
So
how
much have you had worked the grassroots? Because it's all in the grassroots.
Yeah,
MPship is really the grassroots.
It's a lot of work, Nana. It's really a lot of work.
So you go
but
traverse to the villages
I
and
believe
everywhere?
that it was just my time. You see, when it's your time, God actually brings people, connect you to the right people. You see, because I trust my instincts. Anytime that I feel that, no, this will work out for me, it works. So I knew that, there was something good in there. But I'm sure that you cannot just get up one day and say that, you want to, become an MP without going through some challenges. Life itself is full of challenges. Life is hard. I'm not coming from, I won't say coming from a very rich background. I was brought up by a single mother, but I feel my mother did a good job. Because my mother told me that, and she keeps telling me that, Barbara, you can make it. She calls me every morning because she knows that the work is full of stress. She calls me every morning to encourage me. And you know the kind of politics we do in Africa.
Is she Cape Coast?
Sometimes, yes, she's in Cape Coast. You need a little money.
Yeah.
And a teacher. Oh, how much was my salary? How much was my salary? But I felt that there was something I wanted to offer to the good people of Cape Coast. It's not about money. You see, if I gave you 500 Ghana cedis within a day or 2 days, you would have used the money. But if I gave you education, informal or informal, if I gave you lobby to get a job for you, I always say that this is what you have to think. You have to look into the future. Don't think about now. So I feel that with that kind of, because I was doing that before I became an MP, because I was running my foundation, Barbara Asha Foundation, and I used the foundation to help a lot of less privileged people who did not have, people who had the talent. In Cape Coast, we have a lot of talent, but in my local language, there's something called Buapuyana. When you know you have the talent, when you know that you can do it, but there is nobody to help you, nobody to connect you, nobody to groom you, it is very sad. But I was very fortunate. I moved to some people and I spoke to them that I feel that it's just time for me to become a member of parliament. Some felt I was joking. Some thought, no, Barbara, because sometimes when you're with your own people, you see, sometimes a prophet is not respected in his own, town. So some felt that Baba was, just going to try, but I was very serious, and I felt that it was the right time, and God connected me to the right people, and one of them is a man that I always mention anytime I have the opportunity, called Mr. Ayin, and is AKA Riri B. Ribi. I just walked to him and Nana, let me tell you, share this with you. Mr. Ayin was also an assembly member.
Okay.
But when they told me about Mr. Ayin, I didn't know he was the same person. So I just moved in, and then he said, do you remember those days when you were government appointee and I was also an assembly member? I mean, he was so respectful. Sometimes anytime he came, I would just offer my seat. You see, these are little things that when you do, because you cannot tell what is going to happen in the future. Sometimes I walk to certain offices and people are just like this. No customer care. They don't smile. Sometimes people look at the personality before, they open their doors and treat them well. You can never tell who's working in there. And I always say that people who are very influential are very simple. So when you have the opportunity to work somewhere or to be somewhere, do not take anybody for granted. And I was very happy to have met Mr. Ayin because I had met him earlier and I didn't know after maybe 8 years later, I would go to the same person. And he supported me, and Nana Uku, who just passed away, my godfather, and some did not offer money, but their ideas, the advice, the pieces of advice that they gave me, and collectively, we won the seat. Collectively, it's not Barbara. Barbara is just is a figure here. But I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to the good people of Cape Coast. And I would entreat them to still have confidence in me, because
the times are hard, though. I mean, I don't want this to be a political show.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Some candidate gave money. Some did, even during our main elections. But they didn't look at the money. They voted massively for me. And anytime you say, Barbara, the response is, Onihen Te. Onihen Te. I believe, I may be wrong, there are some situations that you realize that some people go and stay for a whole period outside their constituencies, and then just one day They wake up and they say that they don't want to be MPs. But some people might have suffered. Some people might have contributed their quota. Some people might have had other opportunities. They could have traveled or done other things. But they felt that they should stay within their communities to help develop their communities.
I mean, but you've run two very busy offices, you know, Deputy Minister Education, Deputy Minister Roads and Housing. These are all headache, you know, ministries.
Yes,
Are you able to go back?
absolutely. I go every 2 weeks. Yeah, if I'm not able to go, then there could be an emergency. But I go. I've been very consistent, and I've done this for almost 3 years. Every other week, unless there is, a situation beyond me, I visit my constituents.
Have you ever held a Durbar, you know, MP Durbar with the people?
Oh my goodness, I've done a lot. I've toured all the communities. I visited different identifiable groups, like the drivers, the churches. I have few churches that I have to visit, and I've organized community, you know, how do you call it, tours to visit the communities. And I've done all these things, but I still have to, because it's quite big. I mean, a big constituency. So by the time you move from one community to the other, then the others are also complaining, hey, you won't watch it, you won't watch it. But I've toured all the communities. I've visited the polling station executives. I've met the delegates, I think, on three or four times.
Okay.
And I'm doing my best.
So now we don't want to go all the way back, because I know apart from teaching there's a bit of designing.
Absolutely.
And there's a bit of acting.
Yes.
I'll start with acting. How did acting?
You know, I told you that my mother is an artist and a designer. And my father was a journalist, an editor, and then very vocal.
Okay.
So I think that Barbara Ayisi is a combination of my mom and my dad. So when it comes to fashion, Nana, you see, you need to present yourself very well,
Yep.
like you're doing, you know, always projecting Africa through your dressing. So I love fashion, but you should know what to do at what time. There should always be that balance.
Yeah.
And that is what I want the young people to learn. I don't look like this all the time. There are times that when I even, you know, I even pass by you never even notice me. There are times I need to calm down depending on where you were going. Maybe I'm going to my constituency, I'm going to maybe a small community, and you are dressed, you know, glamorous like that. It is not good. So you need to learn to dress appropriately. So my mother has a fashion house called the Lakis Designs Collection. But I hate to sit.
Let's give Mom some props. Where's the Lakis?
Hi, the Lakis Designs is in Cape Coast. She's trying to get a branch in Accra.
Okay.
Yes, so she designs purely, our focus is on African, you know.
Ladies or men or
men, both men and women, and children.
What's Mom's
and
name?
My mom is Victoria, Mrs. Victoria Asha.
So Mrs.
And
Asha,
then-
I'm waiting for my
Yes,
Lakis,
your
my
design,
Lakis-
you know.
my Lakis shirt.
Your shirts, yeah, so that you can promote but she's grown. So I'm
Okay.
looking for a young, serious
Designer to take over.
designer to take over. Yes, unfortunately, I'm into politics, and my brother is also into something else.
sure
So I'm looking for a
So
designer.
you picked up some designing
Yes, so I was
from her.
support. I was doing the designs, and then we had the tailors and the dressmakers to sew. Yes, and I was also looking, also helping, because when people come to you, you need to advise them.
Yeah.
No, this will fit you. Looking at your complexion, you see, you need to know. So, you see, I always say that if the Miss World has faults, or there's a word in English that I wanted to use, but I think I've forgotten the word. We all have faults. I mean, when you even saw Miss World without makeup, you can identify a fault. I mean, a fault. There was a
Fallible?
word.
Fallible?
Yeah, fallible, but there's another word in fashion that I forgot. I hope I remember. So no one is perfect. Sometimes about maybe you don't have good legs, maybe it's the nose. Sometimes you don't have a good bust. You see, so if you don't have, why do you want to expose it? See, these days you have cuts that are very deep. Some don't have what it takes, maybe after giving birth to the first child, second child,
So you need to cover up.
you need to cover up a bit, you see. And as you grow, you see, I can't dress the same way I used to dress when I was a teenager. So you need to learn all this. So when they come, sometimes I advise them, do this, do this, do this. We all have our flaws. No one is perfect. No one is perfect. So I advise them, okay, looking at your complexion, do this. Looking at your body type, you have tall, you are short, go for this fabric. So that was what I was doing. And I was also doing the beauty, stuff. So because I had my agency, Bash Afrique. It was Bash Modeling, but I've upgraded it to Bash Afrique Cultural Center. I need to update that. And I was helping people to believe in themselves. You need to know what to do at what time. When you are given, look at this platform that you have given me. When you give me this platform, I should be able to impress. Your posture, how you say, how do you talk, how do you respond to answers. When you ask a question, then sometimes you even sound rude without knowing. So you need to learn. These things enhances your personality. So that was what I was doing. Okay. Yes, that was what I was doing. Trying to help people. It's not all about beauty, like good looks, because it will fade. No matter what you do, it will fade. When you're 50, 60, you can't look the same way. But the beauty inside. So I look, even marriage. You see, it's not about the outside, your looks, how beautiful, this good looks. That's okay, because that could attract people to you. But what is inside is more important than what is outside. So every opportunity that I had to groom people, that was what I told them. Focus on your beauty inside. When you're beautiful inside, it shows out on the outside. But you focus too much on your outside and the inside is not beautiful. You can't sustain that.
Wow. And acting, how did you get into acting? I'm definitely going to go to acting.
Well, when I left Wesley Girls High School, I'm a very good actress.
Okay.
Oh, very good actress. I felt that there was I love to act. Okay. I love to act. I love to dance. I love to act, and I love to. Last time you saw my dance moves.
Dance moves, very good dance.
My cousin know. And after hard days work, you need to relax, have fun, and it's very good exercise for me. It's very easy, to dance, and it keeps me in shape, and it helps me mentally too. So when I left Wesley Girls, and I was pursuing my masters. We also had a family business at school, CSI, so I was just managing. So I felt that, I still had more time. So I came here, I was coming to Accra. In fact, I was so passionate about the acting. Oh my goodness, how many auditions didn't I attend? So at the point I said, hey, this industry, and I had children, you see, and I am that type who would always want to support my home.
You had your daughter there?
Yes, I had my daughter. I'm that type who, I never believe in leaving everything for the man to do. I always believe in supporting my husband. And going into this industry, how was I going to support my family? I went for auditioning. I quite remember in the movie Agony of Christ, Abdul Salam, my own brother Abdul Salam. Oh, when we went to I think Nina Basa, one village, and I was given a script, and I performed so well. So I thought, I was going to be given that role. Oh, and then I realized that I had given that role already to Nadia. I was so very much disappointed. So I felt that this industry, and sometimes it's the timing. The industry is not easy. And I wish that would get a lot of people who really want to help, who really want to support young girls. Because sometimes, some of the things we hear in the movie industry, in the showbiz business, that is why parents don't want their children to become actors and actresses. I mean, it's a general thing. Even in the US, sometimes it happens because some parents feel that when they encourage their children to become actors and actresses, it's a perception. They could become promiscuous, but that is not the case. So I moved from Accra. No, I just walked Agony of Christ. Is it Waka Pass or something like that? I spoke once. So I told, oh, Salam, how could I? I just spoke once. Anyway, but I think even that opportunity was okay for me. At least they saw my face and then I did it well. And then I moved to Kumasi. But I wish to say this to actually celebrate miracle. Because I'd never seen miracle. I just walked to Kumasi, traveled from Cape Coast all the way to Kumasi.
To look for an acting opportunity?
Oh yes. You know, you need to explore. You know, I'm quite adventurous. Even as a member of parliament, I need to explore. So I went there and then I went to a shop in Kumasi. And then he told me that, lady, Barbara, okay. He looked at me, said, there's the script, but I think that you fit that character. But this is your first movie, I mean, really. So I'm not too sure if you'll be able to handle it or not. So if you're able to do it, fine. If you're not able to, there will be other opportunities. And I did well. Miracle should have pushed. I mean, that movie should have won an award. I did it with Ejeko.
Okay.
Yeah, I was then a teacher. No, I had left teaching for some time. But everybody knew that, oh, this is a Wesley girls teacher. Sometimes, see, it came with a lot of criticism because some people feel that, no, Barbara, you know, looking at you as a teacher, how could you have, you know, gone to Kumasi to act in a Kumawood movie and other things? We are not getting it right. As if we do not change that kind of mentality, Nana, we can't make any headway. I love, most of the time when you realize that the few days that I communicated with you, I love to speak my language. And people love it when I speak the Fanti. So speak it. The storyline must be good. We must tell our own story. But there's nothing wrong if we want to speak our own local dialect. But people think that, oh, it's, you know, when you feature in some of the movies that they speak the English and all those things, it puts you, you know, on a certain pedestal. The Kumawood is low. I love Akrobotu. I've never met him, but I love his confidence, you see. Anytime he says, who knows tomorrow? He's created in the image of God and he's proud of how he looks. And that is the first step if you want to succeed. You see, so the Kumawood is, I mean, when I went in, people felt, Barbara, looking at your standard, looking at your portfolio, it should rather feature in the English, you know, movies. I said, that's fine. If I have an opportunity to feature in those movies, I would do. But I also love to speak my language because our culture gives us identity. It tells us who we are as Ghanaians. And people love me. Even, you see, then, we didn't have a lot of people who spoke Fanti. Then, we had, because it was, the whole movie industry was dominated by the Twi-speaking actors and actresses. So it brought a whole lot of twists to the whole thing. And I wish to say thank you to Miracle for believing in me and giving me that opportunity. But I don't know what happened. After that, I couldn't pursue that career. But I would have loved to, you know, because there were other things I was doing. And unfortunately, in Cape Coast, when I get the resources, I want Cape Coast to be a hub. You see, not just by professing or saying that, oh, Cape Coast is a hub of tourism. It should indeed be a hub of tourism. And our movies is part of tourism. Our clothes, part of tourism. Our food is part of tourism. So how can we call Cape Coast a hub of tourism and still be poor and still be counted amongst, you know, the poorest regions in Ghana? So I'm just waiting because I have a whole lot of things going on now. But as part of my vision, to at least come up with a production house, use Cape Coasters, my own people, my constituents, and then come up with our own movies. So that when Kumawood is talking about their movies, Cape Coast can also talk about their own movies. And we'll tell our own stories. Yes, not foreign, other people, project other people's culture. Some of them are so artificial. You see, that is why Kuma would be able to sustain. Because they speak their language, they tell their own stories, and people love Akroba too, and people don't understand. The foreign ones are, I mean, the English-speaking movies are good, but I would prefer that we have a blend of both the English and then the Twi.
Wow, wow, wow. So we're coming straight back. Now you've seen the other side. Now you've seen the other side, the fiery side. Don't go away, we're coming back. Well, thank you very much for staying, and it's been a journey. It's been a journey, and if you're listening carefully, it's about persistence, determination, focus, determination, persistence. So don't just dream it. Get up, sit on the bus, go and tell them, look, this is what I can do. Offer me the opportunity, and when it gets to you, do it to the best. But you see, I'm looking from Kumawood to Ministry of Education and Ministry of Roads and Housing. That's a long journey.
Yes, please. Thank you very much, Nana, once again. I wish to use this platform to say thank you to the President for giving me the opportunity to prove myself. Because when you are perceived to be young, fashionable, people think that you are not capable. But I believe that you can still be fashionable, still be beautiful, and still be serious when it comes to work. Thank you for the opportunity to have served in the Ministry of Education. I started as a Deputy Minister in charge of basic education. And then we did some form of internal reshuffling, and I became the Deputy Minister in charge of technical and vocational education and training, which is so dear to my heart.
I'm glad you
That's
say
my
that.
baby. Because that is the only way, if we want to really transform the economy, to move Ghana beyond aid, TVET must be first, not the last.
Sorry to cut in here, but I said this on an interview with my uncle, and pro-NPP people really, bashed me.
Really?
Yes. Really.
For what reason,
That attacked
Nana?
me. Well, I mean,
Nana, TVET is only the way. Singapore is Singapore because of TVET. China is China because of TVET. Looking at the high rate of unemployment in this country, can we get wide? Looking at the number, could everybody or every one of them get employed into a government work? No. If military, how many people can the security agencies employ? How many of them? You see, so the only way is TVET. When I've always been an advocate, making sure, talking about TVET passionately, because that is the only way. You see, with the skill, even if you were a graduate, even if you had your degree, you had your master's, you had your PhD, you can never tell what will happen tomorrow. When your job, let me use even the banks, some of the banks that, collapsed, and you were a banker, and that was all that you were doing. What are you going to then do now? We have some of them at home now. What can you do? When you have a skill, is it bead making? Look at this beautiful bead that I'm wearing, designed by a Ghanaian, a young woman in Ghana. You see this beautiful outfit that I'm wearing, made in Ghana, and they are very beautiful. The makeup, I'm learning. I want another skill. I was so terrible when it came to makeup, but I'm now learning, because sometimes when there's no makeup artist and you have to travel, you have to fix your makeup and fix it well. You see, so if you have, your profession and you have another skill, it always helps. So I wish that you can take that up. Talk about TVET all the time. Our young people must go into agriculture, farming. Now, people feel that it is when you are not academically inclined, you are not good in school, that is when you have to go into farming. Somewhere last year, we did an awards in Cape Coast, like on the Farmers' Day. And there was this young, I wanted to give something small to the best, I think the youth category, whoever emerged, just to encourage the youth. Oh, I was so excited. And then later on, I wanted to present it myself. Then I found out that he was not from my constituency. From somewhere in the Volta region, I said, oh my world. Because I wanted people to go into farming, poultry. I mean, that is the only way.
Well,
and for the first time in this country, we have a deputy minister in charge of TVET. So I was the first to have been, appointed as the deputy minister in charge of TVET. Now we have Honorable Gifty Shum, who is also continue from where I got to. But that is the only way. Education, I believe that when you are given such a responsibility, you need to come down. You need to come down to learn. So I learned a lot from my minister.
Okay.
My minister is my boss. So I needed to learn. You need to read. You need to be abreast with issues. Because let me bring in this in. Looking at Honorable Dr. Matthew Poku Prempa, I nearly said Napu kind of leadership. It's not that type who's going to say that, do this, that kind of leader. He gives you the responsibility, and you have to learn. And look at this deputy minister, and they call you, you go for international conference, and you're not on top of issues, you're going to disgrace yourself. So whilst I was, in the Ministry of Education, I had to learn. I have to, go to the technocrats. Please, what is this? Guide me. Teach me about the 5-year strategic plan to transform TVET in the country. I had to learn. And within a short time, I was rattling TVET because I subject myself to good grooming and then learning. So I wish to say thank you for the opportunity because I traveled extensively to learn more about technical and vocational education and training. I quite remember I went to China and I told them that TVET emanated from Africa because in the past, every home you were taught how to, you were taught to be an entrepreneur because we were helping our mothers to cook, to sell. And when I was growing, I've sold bread before, I've sold water before. I was cooking. I would cook rice, and then my mother had a shop, a fashion house then, and I'd go and then put it there, and I was selling bread. I remember in Kumasi, I spent some time with my uncle there in Katanga to bake. I was baking myself, and then send it to Katanga to hold to sell. And I wasn't doing that because we were poor, but it taught us to be entrepreneurial. Every child was taught how to cook. So we became so very responsible at a very young age. But look at what is happening. Most of the young girls don't know how to cook. They don't know how to take care of themselves. Because we're taught as a lady, wear your clothes this way. Keep yourself, your personal hygiene. Some of our young people cannot even take good care of themselves. They can't even wash their underwears well. These things are things we need to teach as parents. You see, but sometimes when you go and say it, I don't want to even go to some of the issues because we need to do more than we are doing now. But well, I can also blame parents. Most of us are also chasing money. Some of us mothers have become breadwinners. But what is the point? Becoming a breadwinner and you're not able to train your children well. So I'm really very much passionate about TVET. And then I came to Works and Housing.
Yes.
Oh, I thought Works and Housing. The first time I visited, the whole place was so quiet. I said, wow, this is a very quiet place. I think the workload must be, the workload could be more in education than here, but it has its own twist in Works and Housing. My minister, every morning when I go, piled letters of intent, proposals. You need to read. Anytime he gets those proposals, he will just send them to me. And then I have to, sometimes I know he wants me to learn. So sometimes I need to comment. I need to go to him for discussion. What do I think about this, proposal and kind of thing. And by the grace of God, with the help of my minister, I'm also learning, not completely, because I need to also learn all the policies. Because anytime I'm on air or on TV, I need to make sure I master the policies, the housing, the policies in the ministry. And so far, so good. But it's not as easy as people may think, And because it's Works and Housing, a lot of people will want to be there. Sometimes it's interesting. And one day I'll invite you. Oh, my word. And these are all our own people, too. And we need to have time for them, you see. You need to. Sometimes we need to listen. You see, sometimes it's just a little help that you could offer to turn the life of someone around. Yeah. Sometimes just a little favor, So we have to do that too. I'm sure you understand.
I do.
But when you don't have the money, when you come and you're a minister, you don't have the money, and then what will you tell them? Sometimes you're also broke. Who will believe you? Because once you are a minister, once you are a member of parliament, everybody thinks that you're okay. You are rich. But that is not the situation. That is not. Unless you engage yourself in corrupt, and because sometimes you also have to support your constituents, and it's not that easy.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate our members of parliament and our ministers. It is no joke. It is no joke, because sometimes somebody asks you for a favor and you don't have it. Sometimes you tell them and they don't believe it. But it's not as easy as
today is not
it's
a good
only
day.
one. It's so difficult. Sometimes it's difficult for me to say that
not a
they
good
don't
day.
yet. They don't even believe it. You see, because everybody thinks that once you're in politics, everything is okay. But that is not the situation. Unless you engage in some corrupt activities. Because looking at your salary is the same salary as a member of parliament and as a deputy minister. It's the same thing. So my salary is just like somebody who is not also a minister. So it comes with a lot of management. So that is why I've told my people, I will come every other week. So when you go and then you are sacked a bit, you come and you feel it, and then you go again. Sometimes I don't blame our own people too. See, sometimes when you don't have, see, that is why I want people to buy into my vision that we need to empower ourselves. In Cape Coast, I've introduced 2 major programs on entrepreneurial. One is CCNet, and I did it in collaboration with the Cape Coast Technical University. CCNet is a collaboration between them and my foundation to offer skills training, entrepreneurship. And the first one that I did, 210 of them graduated. By the grace of God, I also lobbied. OIC is also there. We have over 100 people. So we'll have to look at the next batch. I'm thinking of going to agriculture, horticulture. I'm thinking of looking at driving. See, because talking about high rate of unemployment, if I'm able to get some of the youth to learn how to drive, and then I go and lobby, I go and beg, maybe someone, a philanthropist, please, or a bank or something, please. I just want you to help me with these few cars, to give to my people, and then they pay. Sometimes you have to also be careful. You should have that assurance that you're going to pay. I also introduced my loan scheme, Barbara loan scheme, just something small to support. Sometimes about 200 Ghana cedis. With 200 Ghana cedis, you can start something. I brought a young lady called Vanessa to Cape Coast. I had the Women's Day in collaboration with the Afasha Planning Committee. I brought a young lady, 20 years. She won the presidential pitch last year. And I asked her, how much do you start your business with? And she said, 500 Ghana. I said, are you serious? 500? Because somebody gets 500 and she feels that 500 is here then. You can always start.
That's something. All too soon, Barbara. That's what time would allow us.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful. And I'm sure somebody sat at home somewhere has gotten some seed that they're going to sow that would benefit them. So I want to say thank you again. And to you at home, thank you for tuning in. It will be repeated on Sunday at 2 p.m. Make sure you don't miss it. But it has been wonderful.